What's up? What's up? What's up? It's your man ChazzEllis once again. We're gonna talk about why dating sucks. I know a lot of y'all struggling with this. I know a lot of people been going through it, going back and forth with different people sometimes. I know some of y'all been trying to holler at the same person for about 4-5 years. But before we get going, make sure you hit that like button for the YouTube algorithm for your boy one time. Make sure you hit that so we can get going, so we can get this little live stream rocking. All right, I see some of y'all in here. Also, make sure y'all use that super chat. All right, if you want to ask a question, if you want to just give a shout out, if you just want to show some support, also you can hit the stickers. You know, make sure y'all hitting that, right? Especially if y'all like what I'm saying. You know, hit that like button. Use the super chat feature. All of that. All right, I'm letting a few people get in here real quick. I know some people that a little bit behind on their time. Some of y'all don't know this is Eastern Standard Time. But that's all good. That's all good. I'm going to go for a little while. So people, even if you do come in a little bit late, I'm going to be rocking for a minute. So I like to talk about this a lot and how difficult dating has become over the years, because this is something that I work on with different people. I got guys that I work with, I got women that I work with, people of all different races, people from different countries, different areas, and this is a prevailing issue. Dating is a prevailing issue. Oh yeah, somebody asked me before where I be getting the shirts from. Yo, I'm making these shirts. This shirt says I owe me more. This is something that I really adopted as a philosophy in my life. You know, a lot of times we do stuff and we go through stuff, or we let other people kind of take us through stuff, or we put more time and energy into another person than we will ourselves. That's why I made this shirt. That's why, because I was already living this philosophy. I owe me more. I got to put more into me than I'm going to put into somebody who doesn't care about me, who expect more from me than they were willing to give. I owe me more. I owe me more than a whole lot of stuff. I owe me more than to be lazy. I owe me more than to be broke. I owe me more than to be struggling. I owe me more than to not take care of myself. You know, in all that. So, you know, that's it for some of y'all to ask about the shirts. You could go on, I got a site and everything. You can go on ChazzEllis.com, get you one of these shirts if you want to. Anyway, going back to this dating thing, right? A lot of the problem is we look at dating and we think about grandma and grandpa. We think about granddaddy and grandmama and what they was doing and what they was going through. And for a lot of us, that's one of the major issues, because we try to apply 1955 philosophies to a 2021 world whenever we feel like it. Whenever we feel like it. Most of us would be sitting there like, man, back when grandma and grandpa was young, everybody fell in love when they were like 19 years old and they stayed married forever. And, you know, why can't we do that now? Why can't we do that now? Well, the reason why is because you change just as much as the opposite sex changed. You want different things. We all want different things now. We ain't like grandma and grandpa was back in the day. And we don't even know what their life was like back then. You know, my grandmother was born during the Depression. So she grew up during that Depression time period. And she used to tell me stories about the Depression all the time. You know, people always talk about, yo, this is like the greatest generation, yada, yada, yada. But she would always tell me about the Depression and, you know, how she grew up. And she would tell the stories like it was funny. Like it was comical and stuff like that. She like, yeah, you know, I remember when we would get beans, we'd be so happy. And I'd be like, damn, grandma, your life sucked. It was rough. You out here happy because you got beans, but that was the time period. So that's the kind of person that time period formed. Those type of people had less in terms of expectations. When they would get married, when they would get in a relationship, they would expect to go through a lot of ups and downs because life had been a lot of ups and downs. There's a study that shows that any generation that's born from a generation that had it really, really tough is usually not as tough as that previous generation, because tough times breed tough people. And we don't live in a tough society. I know some people think we do, but we don't. I mean, when the last time you had to milk a cow so you could get something to drink? When the last time you had to churn your own butter? When the last time you had to go outside to use the bathroom? I mean, some of y'all might like to pee on the bushes and whatever, but I'm talking about when is the last time you had to go outside to use the bathroom? Tough times breed tough people, right? You feel what I'm saying? And we don't have tough times right now. We just don't. Even the fact that we think the times we're having are tough is a reflection on what we are. You get what I'm saying? And I think that's when we start looking at relationships. We got to understand that we can't have 1955, 1930, 1960s relationships, because that's not us. We're not those people. We don't have the same goals. We don't have the same expectations. We're completely different people. And as a response to that, what we generally get from each other is bad advice, bad information. You know, we talk to people all the time. I was talking to a lady and she was like, yeah, I don't care if people say the 90-day rule doesn't work. It worked for my friend and she's been married for 5 years now. And I was like, so what? This is part of your problem. You look at another person's situation and take no context and think, oh, this worked for them, so it's going to work for me. Have you ever stopped to think that a person that waited 90 days to sleep with you really, 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 really liked your ass? And maybe they got with you in spite of that and not because of? Oh, that's something we don't think about. That's something we don't think about. We look at other people's information and we just say, this is something that I want to do because it seems easy. So I'm just going to not even take in nothing else. I'm not going to really pay attention to any other aspect of it. I'm going to take in that piece of the information that was easiest for me to do. And I'm not just going to get on women on this stuff, because guys do it too. Oh man, if a girl don't sleep with you in 3 dates, don't talk to her anymore. Bro, you need to go out with a girl and she should let you smash right away. She should. That's what I do. You know, you look at that situation from that person and you're not thinking, oh, appreciate you. I got a super chat right here. She said she was on a second date with a guy and told him get his fingers off her thigh. What made him comfortable to do that? I don't know, because I wasn't with you on a date. This is a good question here. Y'all can kick in some of these questions, get into the super chat feature. I'll try to answer your questions as we go along. What made him comfortable to put his finger on your thigh? That's a good question. The reality is I wasn't with you on a date, so I don't know, I don't know if you wearing some old crazy stuff. I don't know if he's just crazy. I don't know if y'all had what seemed like a good chemistry or something like that. Maybe he read the situation wrong or whatever the case may be. Also, where were you? Where were you? Because I bet you he didn't put his hand on your thigh in church. You know, if you really want people to connect with you in a certain way, you also got to set the stage and pick an environment. You feel what I'm saying? Like a lot of y'all ladies especially, y'all go out and y'all want to have a certain type of date with a man. You're like, yo, I want this to be a wholesome date. I want this to be a situation where he ain't putting hands on thighs. He ain't trying to hug on me and kiss on me. But sometimes the environment won't necessarily be wholesome. The time won't necessarily be wholesome. Sometimes you're not necessarily sending a message out to somebody to say, yo, it ain't happening. It's just like the reverse for guys a lot of times. If a dude want to smash on the first date, he shouldn't go to church with you. He shouldn't meet you at your parents' house. He shouldn't have a picnic in broad daylight. He should call you at the crib about 12 o'clock at night, tell you to come over and watch some Netflix and chill. So if you don't want that type of situation, you got to hit him with the opposite. You feel me knocking? You got to say, okay, what sends the message that it ain't happening? And then I'll know your motivation was that you were crazy. Feel me? So I'm gonna go back into us taking bad advice. Fellas do this too. You know, a lot of guys will take advice that's just easy to do. Women will do it and guys will do it. Guys will take advice that's easy to do. Because easy advice usually comes from people who may be in a situation where they got it made. Like a person will sit there and try to give you some advice from a position of having it made. Like you talking to a guy that's making $2 million a year and he's giving you dating advice and saying, yeah, you know, just tell these girls if they don't sleep with you within 2 days that you'll never talk to them again, walk away from a situation. Do you think they were doing that back when they were making 20 grand a year? Probably not. Do you think they were doing that before they started working out all the time and getting better opportunities and stuff like that? Most likely not. So a lot of times what happens is you get a piece of the advice, but you don't get the whole thing. You get somebody sitting there telling you, yeah, this is how you should respond. This is how you should deal with relationships, but they don't give you the whole thing. You know, and a lot of times it's our own fault because people take the advice they want to take. If advice seems really difficult, if somebody sit here and say, look, the way you find the man of your dreams is you need to get in the gym first. You need to learn how to cook. You need to be supportive of a man when he's down and out and when he's broke. If somebody says that, you're like, I don't want that struggle love. If they don't love me for me, then I don't need to be with them. But then if the opposite is told to a guy and they say, yeah, man, here's all the stuff you need to do to get a woman and make her happy, then you cool with it. And men are the exact same way. This is the thing, like this battle of the sexes thing is so funny because men are the exact same way. When they hear advice that tells them everything a woman needs to do for them and the fact that they should just sit back and be the prize, then they cool with the advice. Oh yeah, that's exactly how it's supposed to go. I'm gonna tell y'all something that I talked to a guy I was doing a consultation with a little while ago. I told him this. He was like, well, what's going on with men and women nowadays? What's up? I said, the problem is somewhere about 20 years ago, women started taking this independent woman advice. All my women independent. I don't need a man. I could do without a man. I don't need nobody. I could do by myself. I'm happy being single. This is what I like. I don't need no man. I'm not finna play house with nobody. I'm not gonna be somebody's maid. And that was to their detriment. Nowadays, because men have dealt with this situation for a minute, and men have, some of them are super frustrated, they're doing the same thing women did 20 years ago. See, women did that in response to men frustrating them. Every time I get with a dude, he doesn't give me what I want. Every time I get with somebody, they don't want to marry me. They don't want to be in the relationship that I want. They hit it and quit it. They play games. They manipulate. So women started adopting this, all my women independent. I could do it by myself. I don't need no man. People started adopting this ideology because it made sense for them for what they were going through. Other people told them, hey man, you don't need anybody. You could be happy by yourself. You could be good. And that philosophy seemed to make sense to them. They applied it, and of course it didn't work. Now you see men basically getting that same information from other men. You got a lot of guys who struggling in relationships, a lot of dudes that's bitter out here in these streets, but they got a platform, which is fine. I'm not hating on nobody, but I'm saying a lot of times you're just passing on the same information that destroyed the dating game for women, and you're passing it on to guys because it sounds cool. I see some other people that's over here in the super chat. Appreciate y'all. Appreciate y'all. Is it Eula Boy? Miss Lady, I see you. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna get through some of these questions that you guys are asking me. Y'all bear with me. I got my glasses on so I can see. But y'all bear with me because I'm new to this whole going live again. Y'all know I ain't going live in some years. What's my thoughts on, this is from Groovy Girl TE. I hope I'm getting y'all names right. Your thoughts on polygamy, and it was birthday. Oh, it was your birthday yesterday. Can I get a shout out? Yes, you can get a shout out. Happy birthday. That's what's up. That's what's up. I ain't gonna sing or nothing, but you know what I'm saying. It's for you. My thoughts on polygamy. Hey, I'm a to each his own type of person. I'm not sitting here saying that I want to get 2-3 wives because I feel like it'd be more trouble than it's worth. But I'm a to each his own type of person. I feel like in life, 99% of the time, if you do something and you stick to it and you stick to the principles of it, it'll work for you. It's like a diet. You know, like I know you probably been watching Seeking Sister Wives and stuff too, because I be checking that out. Look, I be checking out some of this reality TV. I know y'all probably been watching that. That might be where that question came from. But anyway, I think it's like anything else. It's like a diet. You know, people talk about diets and how diets don't work and all that, but most people don't stick to any kind of diet. Monogamy's not going to work if you don't have a plan, if you don't have a system that you want to actually use, something that you're following, some guideline that y'all both agree to. You know, if you making up the rules as you go along, monogamy's not going to work. So polygamy is the same way. If you making up the rules as you go along, if you don't have a guideline, a plan, y'all both trying to figure out, you know, what type of version of polygamy y'all want to do, you know, based on what y'all feeling day to day, that's not going to work either. You know, I don't have a problem with polygamy because people did it for hundreds and even thousands of years. So who am I to sit here and say that it's not the move? You know, but I just think whatever you do, you got to make sure you put in the time to actually have a real solid belief system and follow that and not just kind of make up the rules as you go along. Okay, let's see. Miss Lady Sade. I noticed that men need large amounts of emotional healing. How would you recommend a woman that has healed go about dating? I mean, I don't know if that's kind of a blanket statement where you say men need large amounts of emotional healing. Not everybody needs that. I guess everybody needs some emotional healing, whether it's a man or a woman. But I don't know if every man need large amounts of emotional healing. That might be the type of people that you're getting with right now that need large amounts of emotional healing. You might want to kind of check into that, like what's happening that's causing you to attract people who outwardly need large amounts of emotional healing. So you said, how would you recommend a woman that has healed go about dating? I think, you know, if you've healed your own situation and you feel better about your own life and your own situation, go look for somebody who's also healthy or at least somewhat healthy like you, somebody who's in a similar place. If you really feel like you've healed and you really feel like you're doing well, then that should start reflecting in the people that you're attracting. I always say this, you know, vultures are attracted to rotting flesh. So if you keep attracting people that want to suck from you and want to just do nothing but take and take and take and take, that's normally not because you're perfectly healthy at the time. It's normally because you still got some healing to do, or you still got some things that you might need to work through also. That's usually kind of where, you know, where the attraction comes from. So that's something you want to take a little bit of a look at. And when you deal with people, try to deal with people who are healthy. Try to deal with people who are also an active part in their own rescue. You can't heal nobody else. That's some crap that people put on Facebook. It take a real man to heal a heart that he didn't break, or a real woman to heal a heart that she didn't break. You can't heal nobody else. All you can do is be yourself and enjoy the relationship and bring the happiness to it that you can bring. It's not your responsibility or your capability to heal another human. All right, keep them coming. The comments, the questions, y'all make sure y'all hit that super chat and get up in there. You feel what I'm saying? So I'm going to go in a little bit more about some of these different relationship situations. So a lot of what we get from relationships that cause us the biggest problems is going to friends, going to family members, and taking bad advice. We take the you should be independent advice. We take the try to be like me advice. I liken a lot of things to sports because I think when you look at sports, sports are a meritocracy and sports have obvious outcomes, right? A lot of things we can debate the outcome, but in sports you either missed a shot or you made it. You either won or you lost. It's pretty obvious, right? So that's why I liken a lot of things to that. And here's the thing I think about taking be like me advice. This is why I don't talk to you a lot about my relationship and my situation, because I would never try to tell another person to do what I do, because that's not how life actually works. If you try to do what I do, you're going to get different results in different return. I'm not going to sit here and say, hey, this is how I go about dating. This is how you should go about dating. Over the years that I've been working with people, and like I say, I coach. I've been coaching for years. I've trained. I do all that different stuff. And what I've noticed is that you have to have different plans and different programs depending on the individual. And that's where we run into a problem when we take advice from people. A lot of times you take advice from somebody because they've been married 50 years. I hear this from people all the time. Man, grandma and grandpa been married 50 years. I got a friend that's been married 50 years. I don't listen to nobody but them, which is a bunch of bull crap. But even when you do really listen to them, you got to understand this concept. If grandma and grandpa got married 50 years ago, the advice that they give you as far as their personal experience in terms of getting into a relationship, that's 50 years old. So grandma and grandpa can't tell you how long you should take to send a text back, whether you should take a text or a phone call. Grandma and grandpa can't tell you whether you should Skype somebody or send nudes. How could they sit here and tell you that based on their actual real life experience? So what you do a lot of times is you'll try to take some old school advice from somebody, which is nothing wrong with old school advice, but you'll try to apply it in a situation where it doesn't apply, in a lifestyle that you never lived yourself. You know, a lot of people, because what people do is they'll try to pretend like they take old school advice to shut down new advice that tells them that they actually have to do something and put in effort. Like people will be like, well, my grandfather told me that when he got married back in 1951, he did this and that and the other for my grandma, and that's who I listen to. Really, that's who you listen to, huh? Because grandpa told you to guard your treasure when you were 16 years old, but you didn't start listening to that until it wasn't a treasure no more. You let Jimmy, Bobby, Leroy, James, Robert smash over the years. Now all of a sudden you want to be on some I'ma guard my treasure like grandpa told me to. No, you're not really following the advice. That's why it doesn't apply to your situation. I'ma wait till I get married. Well, back in the day when you waited till you got married, like you actually waited till you got married. I know this is gonna hit some people and hurt some feelings, but that whole I'ma wait till I get married after I've been smashing for 20 years probably ain't gonna work. That'll work better if you did it when you were still young, when you were still 19, 20 years old. It's like some of this game that guys get from grandpa. Oh man, well grandpa told me a woman is supposed to cook and clean and all that. Grandpa also told you you're supposed to be able to fix a car. Grandpa also told you you're supposed to be able to fix a toaster. Grandpa also worked 3 jobs so grandma didn't have to work. Oh, yeah. What? Oh, you don't want to do that. Okay. My bad. Grandpa let grandma's parents move in and took care of them. You don't want, oh, okay. Well, of course the advice isn't going to work if you don't listen to the advice in its totality. You're just taking a piece of it that's easy for you to do and using that to shut down everything else that you don't want to do. And that's what most people do. It's like I used to train this lady when I was a personal trainer. I used to train this lady. As y'all watch these live streams, y'all gonna realize I had a million jobs. And I learned a lot from them. But I used to train this lady, right? And she told me one time, she was like, I was watching this thing and this trainer said that you could eat whatever you want. I was like, really? That's what he said? She was like, yeah, he said you can eat whatever you want. So you telling me this stuff about dieting and watching what I eat, I don't necessarily have to do that. I was like, okay, he told you can eat whatever you want. And then what else did he say? She was like, I don't know what you mean. I'm like, there had to be something else that went with that. Did he tell you to burn more calories from working out? You ain't doing that. You ain't doing that because I'm training you. When I'm here, you being lazy. Did he tell you how much sleep you needed to get? Did he tell you how much water you needed to drink? Give me what's up. Like, give me the whole story, not just the part of it that was easy for you to do. So that's what a lot of y'all do. Y'all talk about people's advice. Y'all talk about how, oh, well, I tried this and it didn't work. But the reality is most of y'all just bit and piece every piece of information that y'all get and try to pick up the easiest thing for you to do. And that's why nothing ever works. It's like where, you asked me about polygamy, and I said, as long as you got an actual system for working polygamy. But a lot of y'all gonna try to get in there in a polygamous relationship with a dude where he's basically like, yeah, I want to have 3 wives, but I'm not working, taking care of these wives like they did back in the day. I'm not a person who is a leader. I don't know how to squash conflicts. I'm not capable of giving my attention to multiple things at a time. But yeah, let's do this polygamy thing because I just want to have sex with a whole bunch of women. If you're not building an empire, if you're not trying to actually accomplish what people tried to accomplish with polygamy back in the day, then it's not going to work. And that's anything. It's like for a lot of y'all ladies that want to get married. A lot of y'all really don't even want to get married. You just think you do because other people told you that that's what you should do. And you need that as the cherry on the top of the sundae. But you don't actually want the system of marriage and you don't need it. For most people, you studied, you going to school, you graduated, you've done very well and become very successful. You're not like great grandma. You got a 401k. You got an IRA. You got investment properties. You're not like grandma. Grandma ain't had no choice but to stay married to grandpa because she needed his pension when he died. I'm keeping it a buck. You're not like grandma. So therefore, when you get into a marriage situation, it generally doesn't come out the same because you don't have the same motivation to stay in it that grandma did. You like, wait a minute. I'm not going to sit around and let a man have another family cross town because I don't actually need to be in this relationship for my long-term prosperity. I'm not trying to cook, clean, and massage this dude's feet. And that's where a lot of the conflict comes in because you might still expect him to have old school values when you have no reason to have old school values. So therefore you don't. Oh, well, you need to work and pay all the bills even though we make the same amount of money. I can't date a man who makes less than me. Why? You can support your damn self. So you put this effort into certain things and then you don't necessarily need it. And that's why a lot of your relationships don't work out. Let's get back into this super chat. Yo, y'all make sure y'all hit me up with these questions. Go to the super chat feature. Put in your little donation and whatnot. And talk to your boy. If you don't want to ask a question, just go ahead and put a sticker up or something like that. If you go out on a date, get tipsy and a little too comfortable with your words, but he still talks to you, how can you redeem yourself on the next date? Okay, I see where you're going. This is Betty Crocker. That's what you put on there. She said, if you go on a date and get a little tipsy, get a little, you've been sipping, get a little drunk, and you get a little slick with the words. I understand how that go. And, he still keeps talking to you. How do you redeem yourself on the next date? Well, I'm going to tell you straight up. You don't need to redeem yourself. If the person is still talking to you, what exactly are you redeeming? You got a little tipsy on the date. That's because you wanted to drink, right? and you pulled up. This is what I'm going to tell a lot of y'all ladies out here. Pay attention to me because this is really important. A lot of y'all think that dudes break up with you and stop talking to you because you let them smash too early. That's really not it. When I talk to women about waiting until they're in a relationship to have sex, it ain't got nothing to do with how that man is going to view you or how that man is going to see you. Nothing. The reason why I tell y'all that is because a lot of y'all do something and become emotional about it. And you start feeling self-conscious and feeling uncomfortable, and that makes you start acting desperate and acting crazy. See, you might be out here trying to redeem yourself, and you're really making the situation 10,000 times worse than it has to be. There's nothing to redeem yourself from. If you'd have got drunk and let that dude smash and put honey on your booty, you have nothing to redeem. If you just sat there and was like, hey, I did it, I'm cool, that's what I felt like doing at the time. If I don't want to let you smash on the next date, then I'm not going to. But I'm going to rest on who I am as a person. I'm going to rest on what I bring to the table and the fact that you actually like me. And that you like the cool, funny stuff that I said. Yeah, I might have got a little slick with my words. Might have said a little something. Even if you said something negative to the person. If they kept talking to you, you don't necessarily got to redeem yourself. Just go out there and be you. If you the type of person that's all slick mouth and like to say little smart comments and stuff like that, then that person will either be cool with that or not. You feel what I'm saying? But if that was a one-time thing, then, just go out there and be who you are and be the nice person that you are generally. Now, just on a side note, if getting drunk or getting tipsy take you out your character completely, then that may not be something you want to do on dates going forward. Feel me knocking? I'm just being real with you now. If that consistently takes you out of your character, you probably don't want to get drunk on no date again, all right? But hey, I understand you on a date. You probably trying to have a good time, get a little tip. But yeah, you don't want to go outside of your character. All right, y'all, keep it coming. Keep asking the questions. I think one of the biggest problems as far as dating is concerned today with both parties is people want to bid peace a philosophy about life. That's something that is a very 2000s type of thought process. Have you noticed, like, even people with churches, most people nowadays don't end up being the religion that they started out. Have you noticed that? Most of the time when whatever you started doing, you start saying, man, you know what? I don't like this. I'm going to go do something else. And you might see a person go to 2 or 3 different churches in their lifetime, or even change to 2 or 3 totally different religions in their lifetime. Because people nowadays want something that's more tailor-made to exactly how they think, exactly how they feel, and exactly what they want at any given time. And unfortunately, with relationships, they involve 2 or more people. And when I say more, sometimes it could be polygamy, but it's also kids and family members and stuff like that. So when you want a relationship to completely steer itself to what you want, it's going to be very difficult to get. That's why a lot of y'all can't keep relationships going, because you get with somebody and you want them to be totally 100% what you want them to be. You want the relationship to totally go the way you want it to go. And unfortunately, that's just not going to happen when you got another person involved. Some of y'all got a fairy tale relationship that you really living in your own head by yourself. You feel what I'm saying? So now you feel like I'm just going to add this other person to my fairy tale relationship. All right, you guys keep it going, so I can answer some more of these questions for you. All right. This is something we got to look at just in life in general. I'm gonna go back to sports again, because it's something that I really think everybody should volunteer to coach a sport. If you don't know nothing about sports, be the team mom, be the team dad, be the equipment manager, something like that. Because you can actually watch the attitudes of people in real life. This is where I'm going to go into a little bit more of the 10 to 20% of people who get all of the relationship attention. Now, a lot of people who are angry at relationships, a lot of people who struggle in relationships, a lot of people who are beefing with the relationship situation and system are people who have not done what it takes to be in that top 10 to 20% that 80% of the population is chasing. Now, I'm not even a person that like to try to throw statistics at people because I'm a person that says most people don't believe it unless they see it in their own life. But if you haven't done this already, you don't know that this is just obvious. If you haven't done this already, go to a club. All right? I want you to do this. I used to work security at a lot of different clubs back in the day. And it's something that I noticed. Go to a club and just take your little counter. If you got a little hand counter or something like that, or you could just eyeball it. And if you see 100, 200 men, 100, 200 women out there at the club, on the dance floor, watch that club. Just sit there and watch. You will see 10 to 20% of the guys in the club. So if say it's 100 guys in the club, 10 to 20 of them will go up and talk to most of the women. 10 to 20 of them. And the people that they talk to will be about 10 to 20% of the women in the club. So they'll talk to about 10 to 20 women in that whole club. And that's the people who will connect with each other. Then you'll see a bunch of other people. Look at them. Watch their eyes. All the other people that are just sitting there on the little outskirts, not getting no attention, not dancing most of the time, not doing anything really. Some of them would be dancing, but most of the time not really getting a whole lot of attention. I want you to sit there and watch them and watch their faces. Watch them look at that 10 to 20% that's interacting with each other. Watch them. If y'all think I'm wrong, go to a club and watch that. And the thing is, we get mad if we're not in the 10 to 20%. But a lot of it is really on you. Ask yourself this question for my fellas that's in this room, this is in this chat. Ask yourself this question. How often do you go out and talk to girls at a club or just in life in general? How often do you make a move? If you don't make a move, how can you expect to be in that 10 to 20%? How often do you really perfect how you approach women? If the answer is never, then how do you expect to be in that 10 to 20%? For my ladies, how often do you even flirt with a dude? How often do you talk to men? How often do you make a personal connection with men? How do you expect to be in that 10 to 20%? This goes back to sports like I was talking about before. Some people connect with people all the time. They flirt, they have conversations, they laugh, they joke. And then other people worry about what other people think. If you ever coach a little kid's basketball team, a high school basketball team, even a college basketball team, if you ever just watch a team or played on a team or interacted with a team, this is what you're going to recognize. A very small group, if you got 10 players, it's going to be about 2 of them. Every time you draw up a new play, them 2 players are going to be like, yo, let me get that ball. I'm going to take the ball out, coach. I'm going to show you, I'm going to run the play first, coach. I got it, coach. Hey, coach, let me be the first one in this drill. Let me be the first one on the line to run. It's going to be like 1 or 2 guys, maybe 3, that'll be on that over and over and over again. So by the time game time comes around, they're in practice. They're used to it. So that's why they get the playing time. That's why they get the ball all the time. And then when the game comes on, they shoot the ball. So now they know where their spots are. They know where they can make shots. They know where they miss. And then you got all these other people who always play the background and wonder why the coach doesn't play them. And wonder why they don't make their shots when the game comes on. Wonder why they turn the ball over as soon as they put it in their hands. I want y'all to understand this concept. If you want to be in that top 10 to 20%, Ask yourself what you're actually doing. Are you talking to a man or a woman every single day? Every day. And I'm not talking about a family member. I'm not talking about somebody that you got in the friend zone that you don't really care nothing about talking to. I'm talking about getting that practice. I'm talking about learning how to connect and how to have a good conversation. Are you doing that? If not, that's one of the big reasons why you're not getting the attention that you want. Okay, we got Eula Boy. Once again, is there hope for 50 plus? Sometimes I feel like it's a desert in my age range. Okay, she says, is there hope for 50 plus? Sometimes she feels like it's a desert in the 50 plus age range. Of course there's hope. See, y'all believe the hype. A lot of y'all out here believe the hype. That's your problem. You believe the hype. You believe people talking about, well, if you're 50 years old, you might as well give up hope. Some of them tell you you're 30 years old, you might as well give up hope. It's over for you. Well, who do the 60-year-olds get with? Who? I'm just trying to figure it out. So you telling me no man that's 50 years old likes women who are 50 years old? Not one? None of them? Hardly any of them? Such a small number that you have no chance? The problem that most people run into, especially women, when they get into their 50s is, first of all, you refuse to use the resources that you've acquired over your years to get anybody. So that's a problem right there. You refuse to use your resources to get a relationship going and to connect with anybody. A lot of y'all still trying to play high school game when you're 50. You on some 90-day rule. I ain't finna play house with nobody. You own all of that stuff as if that's gonna work for somebody who's 50 years old. And that's the biggest problem. There's hope if you step up and level up your game as you get older. That's one of the things that I see. No offense to none of y'all ladies out there, but if I did offend you, it is what it is. But what a lot of y'all ladies do is you get older, but you don't step your game up. Guys generally get older and they'll start kicking older game. Now, the ones that don't be out here crying too. Oh man, I don't know why these women don't want me. Because you still trying to kick high school game, but you 47, 57, 67 years old. You got to step up your game as you get older. What do you now bring to the table that you didn't bring to the table when you were 50? That's what you got to lead with. That's what you got to lead with. If you still over here trying to play it like you 22 years old, like you 19 years old, but you're 50, well, it's not going to work out. You know, then it is gloom and doom. But some of y'all got to stop believing the hype, man. Stop believing the hype. A lot of y'all just be on this thing where, like I was talking to a guy the other day, and I'm going to use guys as example too, because I know it's a lot of ladies in here. Might be a lot, well, I guess there's some dudes in here too, but I know it's a lot of ladies in here. I'm going to go ahead and talk about this. I was talking to a guy, and he was telling me about women's standards being too high. He's like, man, these women got impossible standards. You got to make $450,000 a year. You got to be 6'5", and you got to have it all, man, for these women to even give you a chance. I was like, well, how do people keep having babies then? Because there ain't that many people making that type of money. They're that tall. They got this, that. So how do people keep having babies? How do people keep hitting me up for consultations and advice? I'm trying to figure it out. If the selection process is that crazy to where basically you're saying nobody fits into it hardly. That's believing the hype. And when you believe the hype, you become hopeless and desperate. When you start really believing that everybody's standards are way too high, that when you get to be 25, 30 years old, it's over. You might as well just give up. If you start believing that stuff, then yeah, it is over for you. It is over. That's just like business. That's just like anything else. If you get into business and you start believing, oh, well, you can't make $1 million. It's impossible. Well, then you never will. I know people that feel like you can't make $100,000. I know a lot of people who feel like that's impossible. It's not. It's not even that hard. But if you believe the hype and you listen to other people who are not getting what they want out of a situation, or you listen to people who have an agenda to really kind of put you down, then yeah, it's going to seem really difficult, but it's not. All right, that's 50 is not a death sentence. It's not even that old, and you should still be able to date. You just got to learn the game of dating as a 50-year-old. You got to develop your 50 game. You know what I'm saying? It's like I talked about this story a little while ago. I was playing ball with a dude back when I was like 19 years old. And back then, man, I used to be able to jump higher than a giraffe ass. I mean, I used to be a get up boy, like, I can jump still a little bit now, but back then, higher than a giraffe ass. And I used to jump over everybody for rebounds, right? I'm playing with this older cat. And I guess he got tired of it because he just grabbed my shorts one time as I went up. And I didn't jump because, when somebody grab your shorts, you think they about to fall down. The natural reaction, obviously, is to pull on your shorts instead of jumping. Dude was able to get the rebound. He developed that game. Because I started doing stuff like that to cats when I couldn't jump as high anymore. I'm like, man, forget it. I'll pull on his mud shorts. I started developing all kind of stuff. That's what veteran players do in the NBA, the NFL. They develop all kind of tricks to keep up with them young boys. It's like, hey, I can't run as fast as I used to back in the day. I can't jump as high. So here's all the little tricks of the trade that I got to work with them young boys. That's what y'all got to do. Don't let somebody just tell you, hey, it's over because you're older, and don't try to kick the same game that somebody 20 years, 30 years younger than you doing. Oh, I'm offering the same thing they offer. Hey, you got a 401k. You feel what I'm saying? You got low car insurance. A 21-year-old does not have low car insurance, no matter how well they drive. You bring things to the table that a lot of other people that are younger than you can't bring to the table. You probably know how to make dumplings from scratch. You know how hard that is? I'm just saying. There's things that you probably bring to the table. You may have already built a career, and you can be cooperative with somebody else building their career. You can work together on a business. Why is it that I see so many people get in relationships and you don't even think to do that? Like, hey, why don't we do a business together? Because I actually have business acumen. I actually am educated. Well, if you don't bring stuff like that to the table, no wonder you're getting scooped by somebody that's 19, 20 years old. When both of y'all sitting over here like, yeah, I just, arch my back. You can't arch your back and throw your ass up in the air as well as a 21-year-old when you got arthritis. You feel what I'm saying? Or you got a bad back or you slipped a disc back in the day. You know what I mean? Men already, that's one thing I will say a lot of men already know. You can't compete with somebody that's 20 years younger than you in all of that other physical stuff. But what you can do is say, hey, girl, I can tell you how to get your credit score up. I can tell you how to start a business. He can't do that. He don't know how to start no business. He living in his mama's basement. You feel what I'm saying? Some of y'all ladies got to start doing the same thing. Wait a minute. I can work with a guy and I can do things that a younger girl can't do because she don't have the experience. She doesn't have the life experience. You probably don't want to start a business with her because she probably either has no credit or bad credit. Feel what I'm saying? Come on, keep them coming. Let me see if I missed anybody because that does happen from time to time. I'm going to try to get a lot of stuff that y'all talk to me about. I want to talk about this struggle love thing. Because this is something that anytime I ever tell women, especially, to do something to connect with a man in a relationship, y'all call it struggle love. I'm like, yo, the way you want to get with somebody, you want to gain their trust, you want to build, you want to get in on the ground floor. Struggle love. I don't want to do that. But yet you want that 1955 relationship that grandma and grandpa had. What you think they had to do? You feel what I'm saying? That's the crazy part about it. I don't want to get involved in no struggle love. I don't want to get involved in no struggle love. Love is struggle. When you have a real love and a real relationship with somebody, there's going to be struggle involved. There's going to be heartache and pain. You got to understand that concept. And this is how you build from the ground floor. If you don't want to do that, if you don't want to build from the ground floor, you got to understand that, first of all, you got to really take care of yourself physically. You got to be banging. I ain't saying you got to all fit into one body type or one type of look, but you got to be banging. And you have to be willing to take the fact that the person probably doesn't trust you initially. You have to be willing to take the fact that they might start out with about 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 27 girls. It's some different stuff you're going to have to accept, possibly. You feel what I'm saying? So, a lot of times you don't want to put in the effort on the front end, which, hey, I understand. I'm not here to judge anything. But you got to realize if you ain't willing to put the effort in on the front end, the person's not going to have the same trust for you, probably not going to have the same value either. You're going to have to earn it on the back. Okay, Lady Marie J. I'm sorry. I'm no spring chicken, but when I put on a cute dress and a smile, men will try to holler. You ain't got to be young for men to try to holler. What? This is what I'm trying to figure out. She said I'm no spring chicken, but when I put on a cute dress and a smile, first of all, I know a lot of y'all don't want somebody to tell you to smile. 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 Walk around looking mad all the time is a choice. No, I don't want no man telling me that I need to smile. Smile. Why? How would you expect someone to approach you or somebody to want to be around your ass when you got a sad look on your face or you look angry all the time? And if you don't want to smile, be cool with the fact that nobody approaches you, nobody talks to you, and the only people who do approach you are people who don't take cues. Be okay with that. That's a choice. But I want to say this. A lot of y'all women get older and you start acting like there ain't no older men in the world. Like, I'm no spring chicken, but when I put on a cute dress, why wouldn't they holler? If you got a nice outfit on, if you got a big smile on your face, if you feeling good about yourself, why wouldn't they holler? So, okay, when you turn 50 years old, there's no 50-year-old men. When you turn 35, there's no 35-year-old men anymore. When you turn 70, there's no 70-year-old men. I guess they all died or something. I don't know. No men like older women. None. Not one. You feel what I'm saying? Like listen to what y'all believe. That's why I be telling people, don't believe the hype. Okay, Brittany Boardley. Can you talk about becoming a professional and being in the top 10 to 20%? For sure. That's a good, we getting back on that. I was about to get back on that at some point. You put me back there. Appreciate you, Brittany. Y'all keep them coming, man. Keep them coming. I'm going to get to you. So being a professional and being in the top 10 to 20%, what you have to look at is you have to understand, what is it that I actually want? Okay? What do I want from a relationship? That's going to help you to find yourself in the top 10 to 20%, because it's always going to be on a slide scale. People chase, 80% of the people chase 10 to 20%. The reason why they do that is because these are the people who put their best foot forward. They're not all the same person. They don't all look the same. They don't all have the same job. They don't all have the same money. They maximize where they're good, where their space is. If you take a guy and you put him in a 3-piece suit, and then you take another guy and you put him in a wife beater, that's a tank top for my people overseas. That's the sleeveless shirt. If you put him in one of those guys could possibly get the same attention and both be in the top 10 to 20%. You take a blue collar guy who works on cars and you take an investment banker, those guys can both be in the top 10 to 20%. There's the same for women. It depends on how you use what you've accomplished to work for you. So if you are a professional, if you say, I'm a professional, I got a good job, I work my butt off, this is what I'm doing with my life, boom. If that's you, then you got to start asking yourself, how am I using that and how am I putting that into my presentation so that I can land in the top 10 to 20%? How am I connecting with people to make this valuable to land me in the top 10 to 20%? What I mean by that is, okay, if you're a professional and you're making money, that means you're probably spending time at work. So you may not have as much time as somebody who is living in their mom's attic, on the phone all day. You may not have as much time. So you have to show how your professional situation is an asset. How is this an asset? Well, hey, I got professional information and advice. I got specialized knowledge that I can break down. You may be an accountant. If you hand me your taxes, I got you. Here's how I dress. Here's how I present myself. Here's how I put my best foot forward when you put me around people. I got a smile on my face. I know how to speak in such a way that lets people know that I'm educated and intelligent and I'm not somebody who gonna embarrass them in any type of a setting. That's how you put yourself in the top 10 to 20%. When you present yourself, people who are looking for what you bring to the table should see you as the top 10 to 20% of that. I'm looking for a professional woman that I can actually have on my arm that's going to be a compliment to me, that's going to make me look like I'm actually about something and she can interact with people who are also about something. If you're looking to be that and that's what you're looking to get somebody who wants that, then you got to show that and you got to show how that's going to benefit. You feel what I'm saying? That puts you in the top 10 to 20%. Okay, we got Nature Girl 21. Okay, I think you said my baby daddy. Baby daddy didn't introduce me to friends when we was out for our daughter's birthday. I ended a personal contact immediately. Now he doesn't want to do for our daughter because I want nothing to do with him. Okay, so she says that she was out with her baby daddy. He didn't introduce her to the friends. And she ended contact with him immediately. Now he doesn't want to do much for your daughter. How long ago was that? You know, there's a little bit missing from the question that from what you're saying, but I'm gonna try to help out anyway. I wouldn't suggest what you did there. To be real with you, you already got a kid with the dude, bro. So you can't it seemed to me like the story is a little deeper than this. He didn't introduce you to somebody, so you ended contact with somebody you have a kid by. You feel what I'm saying? I'm just being 100% real with you. That don't seem like the move. Now you say he's not taking care of his daughter the same way he was before. That could be temporary, but I think we really need to attack what did you have going on in your mind that said, I'm going to stop contact with this person because they didn't introduce me to somebody? That's what I'm trying to figure out. You already have a baby with the dude. I could understand if you just met him yesterday and you wasn't feeling, bro. You know, I get that, but you got a baby with the dude. So that's where I'm trying to figure out. Whatever hostility you might have toward buddy, I totally get it. But you got a baby with the dude. So why stop contact? That's when you have a conversation. Yo, I want it to be. See, sometimes we too proud. People, sometimes we too proud. Somebody will do something to us and we hurt. And instead of saying, look, I don't know why you did this, because maybe he don't care about his friend. Because he had a baby by you. Y'all still together after the baby. So, it's a totality of circumstances. I understand you probably thinking, well, maybe he ain't feeling me. Maybe he's embarrassed by me and all of that. But you got to look at a totality of circumstances. Maybe there's more to the story. But from what you just told me, I'm looking at it like, you got to ask. Talk to the dude. That's your baby daddy, man. Y'all got a child together. You need to hit him up now. And talk to him and say, look, here's where I was hurt. I went silent on you, but I was hurt. You didn't introduce me to your friend. He might sit here and go, yeah, man, every time I introduce this dude to a girl, he tried to smash. I don't know. You might want to get deeper into the story a little bit. Because right now you focusing on co-parenting and all this type of stuff. When what you told me y'all broke up over, it ain't really a complete situation for that to even make sense. You feel me knocking? Y'all, you might want to think about that for a second. I mean, I'm not telling you what to do, but call at least and try to figure out what's up. You feel me? What's up, Francisco? How to know what a specific woman wants. How do you know? Some say they don't want a relationship at first, then they change their minds. Francisco, I'm gonna tell you right now, based on the specific question you asked me, 99.99% of the time, she did not want a relationship at first and then change her mind. She said she didn't want a relationship because she wanted to get a chance. You feel me knocking? Most of the time, she felt like you probably wouldn't get into a situation with her if she told you she wanted a relationship right up front. Now, there's that small percentage where they don't think they want a relationship. Excuse me, y'all. I don't got COVID. I got tested. Don't trip. But sometimes what happens is she thinks that you want a relationship, or she thinks she doesn't want a relationship, and then things go too good. She might be like, I don't want no relationship. I'm fine by myself. Then you start hitting it good. The conversation is banging. Y'all having fun together. And she like, you know what? I do want a relationship, Francisco. I do want a relationship. So sometimes people don't know what they want. Come on, friends. It's the same thing with us guys. You might start talking to a girl, and ladies, y'all need to listen to this too. You might start talking to a girl, and it may be a hit it and quit it, right? Then she makes you pancakes. Then she starts talking to you about Marvel movies or whatever it is you mess with. Am I right? You change your mind. Not necessarily because you just changed your mind out the blue, but the situation changed. So when you're dealing with somebody, you got to understand what they want and what they feel is going to be fluid. It's just like when somebody says that they want a relationship and then they don't. A lot of women think, oh, when a man told me he wanted a relationship, then he hit it and he quit it. Well, sometimes he might have been lying, but sometimes he might have got to know you and stop wanting a relationship. I'm going to keep it a buck. Okay, we're gonna go back on Nature Girl again. He has access to her, speaks to her. She is 12 with the phone to talk to him. He introduced my daughter, but not me. Yo, I'm with you. It seemed like it seemed hurtful and messed up, but you need to have a talk with this brother. Nature Girl, you need to have a talk with that man. Figure out why, because there's so much to the story that really we can't know just in this one-sided situation where you're telling me about it, but we can't know certain things. You feel me knocking? So ask that man, hey, why did you stop? Why did you not introduce me? You introduced our daughter. You didn't say nothing about me. Why? We got to start doing that. People, start asking questions, man. Some of y'all be so afraid of the answers and getting your feelings hurt, which I totally understand. But you got to ask questions. If you want to know something about what somebody did or why they did it, ask. Communicate. Because see, what happens a lot of times is we got baggage from things that have happened to us in our life. It could be relationships, it could be friends, it could be family. And when we don't get something or when somebody come at us a certain type of way, a lot of times the baggage and the hurt and the pain from the past will come up in us, and it'll make us just lash out and start putting a lot of stuff there that's not there. Or to make us react in a way that really doesn't make sense for the situation. It's like if you got a kid with somebody, if you love somebody or y'all at least had that relationship at one time and you break up, you say, yo, you need to go ahead and just talk to your daughter and all this kind of stuff. You say your daughter 12 years old and you want to just end the relationship like that. Are y'all off and on? Or, because if y'all been together for 12 years, that's not a 12-year end of relationship type of thing. I don't know about that. I think you need to start figuring out a little bit more about what happened there and talk. Y'all, it seems like y'all got a little bit deeper problems. Okay, let's see. Jessica Thompson. Appreciate you. I'm dating a guy. If y'all don't want me to say your name or something like that, you can also put on there like an A at the end of the question for anonymous. I guess you probably don't care though. I'm dating a guy, but today, a friend of this guy said he wants to take me out. I said no. Should I let guy A know? Okay, so I'm with you. I was able to read enough. Reading is fundamental. I'm trying. So she says she's dating a guy, and a friend of the guy said he wanted to take her out. She wants to know if she should let the guy know. This is one of those 50-50 situations. I would say no, actually. I would say no. Depending on how he did it. If he did it in writing or something like that, where he sent you some kind of a text message, which I don't know how the hell he got your phone number. If he did it on DM or something like that, then you might want to say something. But if it's just like a throwaway type of situation, that's one of them things where hit him with the stiff arm real quick, you know what I mean? Bow! Hit him with the stiff arm like Derrick Henry would do, and keep it moving. The reason why I say that is because I don't like to get into the messy. And I'm not saying you messy because you asked, which means that you really aren't messy at all. But I don't like to get into the messy. You feel me knocking? I don't like to get into a situation where I'm rocking with somebody, I'm enjoying that person's company, we good, and then some other fool try to come in with their goofy ass and ask me out. To me, that's a stiff arm type of situation. And if he brings it up, then you say, yeah, dude did ask me out. I don't care nothing about that fool. Who is he to me? But other than that, I don't really like to get no type of drama started if I can help it. If he continues, then you have to say something. Okay, Mariah Beautiful. Thank you, appreciate you. Hey Chaz, do you think a woman should be in a relationship with a man who is 22 and she is 28? If he meets all of her standards, what advice would you give to make this work? Yeah. First of all, I want to say this. This question is rooted in an issue that we have with relationships. People think that they're supposed to get too much out of relationships. You just said that he met all the standards that you had. So that means you're probably having a good relationship and enjoying it. Make that the only thing you're trying to accomplish. See, what some people do is y'all trying to date with a purpose. And when you date with a purpose, you feel like your purpose is not fulfilled most of the time, which means you become more and more bitter every single time you freaking try to date. Now you don't even have a good time. Now you're not enjoying it. You with a brother that's 22 years old, you enjoying the relationship, you having fun, y'all probably, eating Dunkaroos. No, I'm just kidding. But you enjoy the relationship, you having a good time, enjoy it. Have fun. If it keeps progressing and going forward, even better. If it doesn't, that's fine too. And that would be my advice for you. Be you. Don't try to be no 22-year-old. Be yourself. Have fun as you. Take him into your world a lot also. Don't just go into his where you the only 28-year-old hanging out with a bunch of 22-year-olds. You need to bring him into your world a lot. Show him new things. Show him why it makes more sense to be with a 28-year-old than another 22-year-old. And other than that, just enjoy. Have a good time. Have fun with the situation. You know, a lot of times we date with too much expectation, which is why we just keep carrying negative baggage from person to person. It's just like people who fear rejection. You fear rejection, so you don't go and try. You act like somebody saying that they don't like you or somebody calling you ugly is so bad that, you know, you just can't keep going. You can't move on. You can't live past that moment in time. Nah, you can't let somebody do you like that. Keep it moving, keep it pushing. Have a good time. Enjoy relationships when you get an opportunity at them. Who else we got? Keep them coming. Keep asking questions. If you want to ask something, get up in that super chat. Make that donation. Show some love. Hit that thumbs up button too, because I see a lot of y'all in here who didn't hit the like button. Hit the like button for the algorithm. Come on now. Show love to your boy. One time. All right. For some of y'all who also want to know about the shirts, I know people be asking. The shirt is I Owe Me More. The reason why I made the shirt is because it's something that I live by. I want to talk to some of y'all about this that may not have gotten on a little late. A lot of times we give to other people, but we don't really give to ourselves. We focus on everything else, everybody else, but we don't focus on ourselves. And sometimes we do things that are detrimental to ourselves. I want y'all to be thinking, I owe myself more than that. You feel what I'm saying? When you're doing something that's detrimental to you and your own success, I want you to think about that. I owe myself more than that. All right? If y'all want the shirt, y'all can go on the website, ChazzEllis.com. I want to talk a little bit more as far as these relationships are concerned. I want to talk a little bit more about giving up. I noticed that that's a new thing where every time something happens, people tell you just to give up. Oh man, they don't like you, just give up. Oh man, they don't like you, just give up. Anything that happens, it's men and women deal with this. People always tell you to give up. The reason why people tell you that is because in most cases, that's going to be the easiest thing for you to digest. Because when you give up, you never get to really see an outcome. You feel what I'm saying? What's up, Lisa? Appreciate you. When you give up, you never really see an outcome. So what a lot of people would do is they'd be like, oh man, if something bad happened, just give up. Just quit the relationship. Just keep it moving. And a lot of times, what's up, Vivian? I'm seeing you on here again. My bad, I missed you the first time you came around. But appreciate you, Vivian. When you give up, you don't get a chance to see the outcome. So it seems like good advice. Like, oh, well, last time I tried and it didn't work out. So I'm just going to go ahead and give up. This is something that a lot of people embrace. I talk to people all the time. Like, I'll make a video and I'll talk about all the effort that you need to put in to make a relationship work. Invariably, people will get on that video and comment, I did that in my last relationship and it didn't work. Okay, do it again and add some more good to it. So if you were in your last relationship and you bought her flowers, you took her on vacation, you showed love, you was over here sprinkling rose petals all over, whatever it was you were doing, do it again. Don't take the good part of what you did in the relationship away and then and think, okay, if I stop doing nice stuff for people, now all of a sudden my relationships will work out better. Women do it too. Oh man, I cooked and cleaned in my last relationship. I showed love and support and it didn't work. Okay. Keep doing it. That's like, I talked to this cat when I was younger, and we studied for a test, and he failed it. He said, see, that's why I don't study. No, study more. Work on other skills and other methods of study. You don't just throw it out because that didn't work. You know, oh, well, it didn't work one time. No, why is it that it's so easy to throw out the positive? That's what you'll focus on that you did wrong. Oh, man, I did all this for the last girl I was with. I did all this for the last dude I was with. It didn't work. So that doesn't work. No, why don't you take into consideration some of the other things that you might have been doing? You know, were you being the best version of yourself? Did you have confidence in the relationship? Did you have confidence in yourself? Were you adding fun to the relationship, hobbies? Were you just doing something to get something in return? Or was that your default? You know, yeah, that's something you got to ask yourself. Okay, let's see. Amy Sue, thank you. Appreciate you. Is not accepting the guy's friend request on Facebook enough to deter him if he were really interested or he was not very interested? I mean, if you reached out to somebody on Facebook and they didn't accept your friend request, would you continue to try to holler at them? See, some of y'all got to start putting yourself in other people's shoes. So a person gonna sit here and friend request you, and you could really accept anybody's friend request. What is that? And you expect that person to still feel like you're interested in them. I ain't trying to go in, but you still expect somebody to think that you're interested and stay interested in you when you won't even accept their friend request? If you got an opportunity to go back and accept that person's friend request or friend request them, then you might want to go ahead and do that if you are interested. You can't sit here and not show people any interest and expect them to work harder. The only people that's going to do that are going to be players. This is how so many of y'all women attract players. Because what you do is you do something that would say, hey, reasonable person who actually liked me and wanted to be with somebody who liked them back, I don't like you. You friend requested me. I was like, F your friend request, and push the ignore button. If the dude continues, even after that, it's generally not because he's interested so much. It's because he doesn't care because he got multiple chicks on deck. It's because he doesn't care because all he want to do is smash in the first place, and it doesn't matter how much you like him. Some of the stuff y'all use as signs to see if somebody really like you is signs to see if they got other girls pumping up their self-esteem. Because I used to be able to take a whole lot of punishment from chicks when I had multiple 3, 4, 5 on deck. I'm just keeping it real. It hurts a lot more when you actually like the girl and you focused and pinpointed on her. So, yeah, him hitting you up after you ignore his friend request may not be a good sign. Okay, Mariah, once again, what's up? Thank you. Also, I want to tell you thank you for giving me the tools to change my life. I bought 2 of your master classes and actually implemented your advice. It's great. Non-bitter game. Man, I appreciate you. Actually, I recognized you, I thought, but because most of y'all probably don't believe this, but if you ever buy a consultation, if you ever buy premium content from me, anything like that, especially if you buy it a few times, more than once, and you continue to buy it, generally, I'll actually know who you are. Some of y'all, I'll look in the chat and I'll actually know and remember who you are from comments that you've made, from just especially people who comment a lot. I'll actually know who you are. Believe it or not. People who done consultations with me, you know that you'll do a consultation with me 2-3 years ago, and I'll remember your whole story, and you'll be surprised. You'll be like, what? How do you remember that? I don't know. Everybody can do something, you know. There's other stuff that I wish I was better at. I wish I could spell. That's what I wish. Okay, is it Brienne, Nicole? I be trying to get it right. You feel what I'm saying? Why is it so hard for a guy to stop trying to have sex with the mother of their child, especially when it's not going anywhere? Well, wow. So she said, why is it so hard for a guy to stop trying to have sex with the mother of his child, especially if it's not going anywhere? I'm gonna keep it a buck with y'all. Look, I'm gonna let y'all in on some inside life knowledge. A lot of times, a dude feel like you had a baby by me. We was together. He probably owed child support, so he like, I feel like I should be able to hit that. This is a family still. I feel like I should be able to hit that. I gotta pay child support. Maybe he's not. I don't know, but I feel like we still a family. You let me hit it raw before. How dare you not let me keep smashing? Especially if the relationship was kind of strong and he actually was messing with you in the past. A lot of times he want to keep on hitting. You feel what I'm saying? He feel like, man, I'm gonna keep trying because you used to let me hit. You used to let me smash. How could that have changed? You know, he's thinking you're going to change your mind at some point in time. That's actually a good question. Look, baby daddy's going to try to hit, bro. Not all of them. Because, you know, sometimes baby daddy if he don't try to hit, he really just doesn't like you at all. 99% of the time. Okay, y'all keep it coming. Keep it coming. Keep asking questions. We're going to go for a little while longer, so keep asking questions. If you want to ask something, make sure you hit that super chat. If you want to put a sticker up or something like that, make sure you do that too. You feel me? Also, go to ChazzEllis.com, and you can get some of the premium content that I have. I do a lot of videos that are really in-depth and talk about different things. Getting your ex back. Stop getting played. Play others if you want to. I'm not here to judge. You know, I'm not here to try to tell you what to want. I'm here to tell you how to get what you actually do want. That's what I believe advice actually really is. I'm not going to try to tell you based on my life necessarily, like, oh, you need to be like Chaz. You need to do everything I did. I feel like that's terrible advice. You know, some people look at somebody and they say, oh, well, this person is doing okay. Or they want to know so much. This is why I don't talk to people about my personal situation. Because I never want you to think that I'm going to try to tell you to be me or do what I do. Because it may not work for you. I want to work your specific situation, your particular lifestyle, and for your wants. I talk to people all the time who's like, man, I've been in a relationship with a man for this long, and my friend told me to stop playing house, and if he don't want to step up, then break up with him. I talk to women who do that and then stay single for 4 or 5 years. That's your friend's advice based on what she wants and what she's trying to accomplish in life. That's fine for her. But did she tell you how to do what you wanted to do? Did you want to be single for the next 4 or 5 years? If you did, fine. Or were you happy the way you were? It's something to think about. You know, if you're happy the way you are, stick with it. Also, get advice from somebody to tell you how to do what you want to do, not what they want you to do. There is no right or wrong way to live. Living is according to what you want and how you think your life should go. Because half the people, even if they try to apply their religion or something like that, they're applying that to your situation. They don't follow all the rules 99% of the time. Because if you try to apply your religion to their situation, see how they act. Oh, well, see, the reason why I don't do it. Mm-hmm. Exactly. Now, I want to talk to you guys a little bit more about this top 10 to 20%, because I see some of y'all want to know a little bit more about this. Okay, you asked me if I got any questions for you. I'm going to hit y'all with that in just a second. Groovy Girl TE. I'm gonna ask y'all I'm gonna ask y'all a couple questions in a second. For most of y'all, when we talk about this top 10 to 20%, I want everybody to understand that you hear in a lot of places that top 10, 20%, whatever, however they call it, however they use it, whether they say high value man, high value woman, whatever. You feel what I'm saying? What I want y'all to understand is there's no blanket. There's no monolith that every single person is looking for and every single person is interested in. If you want to operate in the top 10 to 20% where you're getting all of the opportunities, all of the bites at the apple, if you want to do that, what you have to do is you have to operate at the height of what you are and who you are. Like a lot of guys will be like, man, I don't make six figures. I don't work behind a desk. So women don't like me. But then you see women with a whole bunch of blue collar dudes who don't work behind desks, military guys, all types of people. A lot of women, y'all think the same way. Y'all think every dude wants one type of person. And like the top people all want one type of person. Not true. Not true. There is a whole huge group out there. There is like so many people who want what you bring to the table if you are at the top of that. If you are at the top of that. See, what most people do is you operate at the bottom of whatever it is you want to be or whatever it is category you exist in. So you blue collar, but you don't really physically take care of yourself. You don't really, exude a lot of the macho stuff that that somebody would expect from somebody that's blue collar. You're not really assertive when you try to talk to somebody, and you wonder why you don't get what you're looking for. Because you haven't really got to the top of whatever it is that you are, or whatever it is category you fit in. A lot of women run into the same problem. You're like, oh, I'm this outgoing, fun career woman. I'm serious about mine. But then when you try to get into relationships, you try to connect with people, you don't show that. You look like a desperate chick that's looking for somebody to take care of them, or somebody who don't got a job, somebody who's struggling out here in these streets, and you wonder why guys don't take you seriously. You sitting over here like, so are you gonna call? Are you gonna be my Valentine? But you're supposed to be alpha female, business suit, button down, I'm in charge of the boardroom, but this is how you carry yourself and conduct yourself in a relationship or when you deal with people. You don't have no level of aggression whatsoever, and you wonder why people not checking for you. Because the people that you end up with are people who want something that you don't really bring to the table or something that you don't really have. So that's why you struggle. Thanks, Vivian. I see you. Okay, one of the questions I want to ask you, some of y'all, and this is a question I asked on the community, I want to ask it again. Who do you think has it tougher in the dating world? Men, women, or both? Okay, I'm going to talk to channel 0216. Hopefully I got it right. After dating guys, they always circle back and express regret for things not working out. To some, it's an ego boost, but I hate it because it makes me feel like an afterthought. Am I overthinking this? So she says, like, when she dates guys, and it ends, they basically circle back and try to be like, hey, I want to get back. She said some people see it as an ego boost. I see it as, as they're looking at me as an afterthought. Man, I don't think you actually are overthinking it. I'm going to be real with you. I don't think you are overthinking it. A lot of people will circle back and say, hey, let's make it work out again. And my question to that is, did it not work out because of you? or did not work out because they weren't giving you what you wanted. Because they weren't giving you what you wanted before, they're probably not going to do it again. They probably just want to come back and smash again. And you never really get to that point if you don't let them come back. You know, a lot of people take the ego boost and like, every guy I ever dealt with wants me back. Do they want you back or do they want to smash again? This is where I would really start trying to get into why these things happen. Like, trying to get a little bit of an exit interview with people. You know, why did we break up? What happened here? Let people be real with you. And a lot of times you start figuring out whether you can take it as a compliment or you can take it as one of those things where it's not a compliment. You feel me? What else we got? Anybody else want some questions? Make sure if you just want to support the chat, support what I'm doing here, you can get a sticker, just get a shout out. Whatever. If you want to ask questions, get up in that super chat. We're going to go for a few more minutes. Also, make sure you like. Hit that like button for the YouTube algorithm. You feel what I'm saying? YouTube will show more love and you'll get a chance to see more of it and see more of what I put out if you hit the like button. One of y'all hit it. Hit that like button. I want everybody to hit the like button all at once. I want that button to go up. At least make it go up 10. Right now. Make that mug go up 10 right now. All right? Okay, so I want to go into a little bit more about giving up and why people give up in relationships. A lot of times you'll be talking to somebody, you'll be dealing with somebody, things that seem lovely, things that seem wonderful, but then one little moment will happen and it'll hit some of those insecurities that we all have. Like, I was talking to a dude the other day. This is for some of y'all ladies too, where y'all be able to understand this and recognize it. I was talking to a dude the other day, and he's basically going out with the girl and everything, and you know, it's all love and blah blah blah. Everything was great. He said, "Yo, man, I texted her good morning, and she didn't hit me back until 7 o'clock at night. I feel like I'm just gonna stop talking to her. She clearly doesn't like me." I'm like, bro, maybe she doesn't. And the general advice that you get from people when somebody doesn't hit you back or anything happens is just to give up. But I'm like, bruh, if that was an incident that happened and you were having fun before, everything was going cool before, then why not just keep enjoying with less expectation? The reason why we give up on relationships so quick and we never get anywhere is because as soon as something happens, it hits those insecurities in us. And for a lot of us, we just give up hope and be like, forget it, I'm done with it. And that's why you never get anywhere. You don't even get practice and you don't even get to enjoy relationships. This is why so many people go 4, 5, 6 years between relationships and just even dates. I know so many people who are doing this because I work with guys and girls all the time. And so many people are going years between dates because they so invested in every situation and it hurts so bad when it doesn't work. Let me ask y'all, let's see what we got here. Okay, Brittany, once again, can you talk about being successful in the top 10, 20% while upgrading yourself? Yeah, for sure. We'll talk about being in the top 10, 20% and upgrading yourself. There's always something you could upgrade. And I'm glad you brought that up because it's a lot of people who are popping in one area and they think that just serves everything. Like, yo, I got $1 million in my pocket, so I automatically get somebody no matter what happens. I'm good, I'm straight. But that's not really how life works, yo. You feel what I'm saying? You got to continue to pick up the places that you are weak in. If you keeping it real for yourself and you like, you know what? I don't go out a lot. I don't interact with people a lot. So I'm not giving myself a lot of chances to meet the people that I want to meet. That's an upgrade area. If you like, I don't smile. I don't give hugs. I'm not kind a lot of times to people when I see them in public. If you know that is how you are, then you gotta start changing that about yourself. You gotta upgrade. That's an upgrade. Maybe it's going to the gym is the upgrade. Maybe it's the way you dress is the upgrade. Really, it's just being real with yourself and not only leaning on the one or two things that you just super banging in. I once again will go back to sports. When you play ball, a lot of guys drive real good to the rim. I mean, boom, they get to the rim, boom, easy. So they don't work on their jump shot. They don't work on their passing skills. They don't work on anything else because that one thing is working so well for them. But when the defenses change and you start having struggles, then you just start complaining and arguing and getting mad rather than saying, I need to go back to the drawing board. That's where you upgrade yourself. Even if things are going good, even if your dating situation is going good, if you want to stay in the top 10 to 20%, because you can always float out of it, then you got to keep upgrading. My daddy used to always say you're either getting better or you're getting worse. So that's something you got to constantly be working on. How am I getting better? All right, let me see. What do we got? The guy who sent the friend request made it clear that he wasn't interested before, which is why I did not accept. I was confused at his change of behavior. Oh, okay. So you said he made it interest. This is somebody, if y'all missed the question, but she was talking about a guy sending a friend request. She was like, yo, I didn't accept it. Well, hey, if he made it seem like he wasn't interested before, I totally understand why you probably didn't accept his friend request. I probably wouldn't either. But if you're interested in him now, don't hold a grudge. You feel what I'm saying? He might have a change of heart. He might try to hit you up and talk to you. Like I always say, a lot of times people are like, well, if you didn't want me back then, you can't have me now. Hey, if the person is still good, if the person is still somebody you're interested in, don't try to prove a point. Just do you. So if he became interested at some point, shoot, I say hit him up. You know what I mean? Hey, at least accept him hitting you up. You feel what I'm saying? But yeah, I totally understand why, as you added context, I totally understand why you probably was like, forget all that. Regina London, what's up? Noob. You new to this? Well, you know what? Don't be new to this. Be true to this. Desiree Curry, appreciate you. Bravo. I like this little, what is this, a fox or a dog? I like that. I like people who come with these stickers because I like seeing all kind of little new stuff over here. All right, y'all keep it up. Keep asking questions, putting out stickers, all of that. Go to the super chat if you want to ask a question. Be supportive, and I got you. I'm also trying to hit some of the things that I talked to you guys about privately when you DM me and stuff like that, because I know that for a lot of y'all, that's stuff y'all, I ain't gonna say your name or nothing like that, but I know that's stuff that a lot of people going through. What I notice a lot that I get from a lot of people that I work with, as far as relationships are concerned, is a lot of people are afraid of putting in work in a relationship and it just not working out. A lot of y'all are afraid of that. Putting work into a relationship and it not working out. I think we got to adjust what we mean when we say working out. That's what I think we need to start doing, adjusting. If you had a good time in a relationship, if you had fun, if you accomplished some of your goals. Because I was talking to somebody who said, yeah, you see Melinda and Bill's relationship didn't work out. Really? Damn near 30 years, kids, an empire. It seemed like it did work out. So we got to start adjusting what we mean when we say work out. People live longer now. People stay healthy longer now. So it's more likely for people to get divorced just because of that. So let's start readjusting how we look at our relationships, our life, and all of that. And I think it'll be easier for us to put more into it. All right, what else we got? I want to appreciate everybody who came through also. came through and watched your boy. And make sure you like. Make sure you like. We need one more to hit that 10 I was talking about. Somebody hit a like real quick. Hit a like one time. But I do want to appreciate y'all for coming out. We're going to stay on for a few more minutes. Yeah, we'll stay on for like 15 more minutes. If you got any questions you want to ask or anything like that, hit that super chat and I'll get you in this last 15 minutes or so. I want to address a video that I made a long time ago that a lot of people talk about. 5 signs that a guy thinks you're ugly. I wanted to, because a lot of y'all been hitting me up about this video over the past year or so. I guess it wasn't that long ago, but over the past year or so. Y'all been hitting me up about this video. And I think it was telling. I made the title that way for a reason, because I felt like it was telling that so many people became upset at the title because they felt like if one person thinks you're ugly, then everybody does. That's not how it works. All right? The reason why I made that video is because I wanted people to understand the concept of wasting your time on a person who just ain't feeling you. Sometimes you're dealing with somebody and it's nothing that you're doing. They just don't look at you for whatever reason as what they wanted. And a lot of times it is physical. I used ugly because I wanted to give you the imagery, and I wanted to use the word and the language to really let you understand, like, it doesn't matter. Because what we do a lot of times, we spend so much time, like, think about when people talk about, I did this, that, and the other for somebody and it didn't work, so I'm not going to put any energy into a next relationship. A lot of times, you put so much time and energy into somebody who never liked your ass in the first place. So then you start thinking that time and energy and effort doesn't work. But you put it into somebody who doesn't like you. But when you get with somebody who actually does like you, this is men and women, this is what we do. When you get with somebody who does like you, you start putting in less effort. See, most of the time when you go out of your way in a relationship, it's because you think that you need to do that to get the person to have any type of interest. So now, when you find somebody who actually does have interest, you don't want to do none of that work because you don't feel like you need to. What I want y'all to do is take what I put in that video, and if you've been trying, if you've been putting in the effort, and a person doesn't show you that they're interested, they don't show you they want to be around you, they don't show you they want to show you to anybody else, they're not trying to claim you, all of that, you've been putting in the effort and the time and the energy, and y'all haven't built anything. Before you get deep into the relationship, ask yourself, be real. Hey, these are some of the signs that this person just not feeling me. Do I need to keep working? Because it ain't working, right? Or do I need to move on? And when you do move on and you find somebody who does like you, put the same effort you put into the last relationship. And even more so. Stop just doing it for the people who don't like you and trying to get them to like you. You ain't about to change nobody's mind. But if somebody really, really likes you and you put that effort in, you can make it even better. You can make the relationship even stronger. All right, we got anything else? Get on in the super chat if you want to ask me something else. I'm almost, we almost out. We got like what? I'll be here for like 12, 13 more minutes or so. We almost out. Let me look through a little bit of what's going on. Some people that's been here. We had somebody says, I enjoy being single. Whenever people say I enjoy being single, and I refuse to play games and stuff like that, I totally understand what you're saying, but this is an issue that I have with that. If you enjoy being so much, My question is always, what is it about relationships and the fact that game happens that makes it to where you rather be by your damn self? You see what I'm saying? Because a lot of times it's the anxiety. To do men going their own way and stuff like that. And it's the anxiety of relationships in a lot of cases. You know what I mean? Like they're like, I'm happy being single. A lot of times you're going to be happy being single because the pressure's off when you're single. But it doesn't mean that you actually like being single more than having somebody. But if you do, then hey, you know, that's cool. But you got to remember, you're going to keep getting older. Life is going to keep going on, and the beach party does end. So you want to keep trying to build relationships and stay in practice with dealing with people. So 5-6 years from now, you ain't out here talking about some, you know, or hell, 50 years from now, you ain't sitting here talking about, I like being single. Because now you can't get with anybody and you can't deal with some of the different pressures of a relationship. That's all I'm saying. Think about that. Let me see, we got Nature Girl on here again. Okay. He never wants to tell anyone when we are together. He hides it, yet we do family stuff with our daughter. I am over it. I want him to just have a relationship with her. He now does less for her. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to keep it a buck with you. When you break up with somebody, a lot of times it's going to be a situation where they're going to do less because y'all not in the same house. You know, now you seem like you have an on-again, off-again relationship with this dude. And I think there's a lot of deep-seated stuff. It's probably not just him not, you know, as you talk more and ask more questions, it's probably not just him not introducing you to somebody. You ain't been feeling the love for a long time with this person. Sometimes it's really about just moving on. You know, if it's really about your daughter, then you got to let that relationship develop on its own, because that's between him and your daughter, really. A lot of y'all be trying to get into that stuff with a person, but they going to do what they want to do. So if you moving on from the relationship, you moving on. You can't force that man to do nothing. You could go to child support court, but that's about it. You feel me? The rest of it is on him. You know, and when you break up with somebody and you decide to move on, that's cool, but your daughter 12 years old. They got their own relationship that they've been building over the past 12 years. Feel me knocking? So, you know, whatever the case may be, you really gotta let him let that. Y'all gotta play that out with him and your daughter, not just in your own situation. You feel what I'm saying? Like, that's him and your daughter. She's old enough to talk to him. He's old enough to talk to her. As that relationship with them two builds up more, then that's going to be between them. As far as you and him are concerned, it seemed like y'all done had an on-again, off-again relationship. Seemed like y'all done have you got a lot of built-up hostility towards him for some stuff. Possibly he's, you know, not been claiming you for a long time. The relationship seemed like it might have started off a bit rocky. I can't really get into everything with you right off top, but right here, because it's a complicated situation, but it seemed like y'all got a lot going on that's happened over a period of years. And as far as your daughter is concerned, they'll work that out together because she's old enough for them too. That's between them two. But with you and him, if you still not feeling the love after all the time you've been dealing with the dude, you done told him about it, it might be time for you to move on. You know, if he want to get it right, he will. If not, you know, it is what it is. One of them situations where you got to put your happiness first. That's why I say I owe me more. You owe you more than to let this dude play you out for even more time. You know, either he want to be there or he doesn't. Okay, let's see. What is a guy's motive if they ask you out for lunch or dinner, but you're not sure, so they give you their number and leave it up to you? She said, what's a guy's motive when they ask you out and you're not sure, so they give you their number and they leave it up to you? I'm going to keep it real with some of y'all. A lot of y'all women want a dude to just keep asking you out over and over again. Y'all got to stop watching them damn movies. If a person put the ball in your court after they already asked you out, what else could they do? The motive is to go out with you. Some things are what they. I'm sorry, y'all got me choking. Some things are what they seem. Everything ain't no riddle. You know, sometimes y'all just be reading so deep into something. You like, look, he asked me out. I said I don't know. So he's like, well, hit me up when you know. What else can he do? Call you 50 more times, and then you say he's stalking you? We got to see it from both people's perspective. You feel what I'm saying? You're not going to want to call somebody like that. You feel me knocking? But that's a good question that you asked too, because there's a lot of people who go through that same thing. Ladies, if a guy actually approaches you and asks you out, that takes a lot. You feel me? If you're not sure and you don't want to go out or whatever the case may be, they might put the ball in your court and then you're going to actually have to take the initiative. He took the initiative. You wasn't feeling it. Now you got to take the initiative on the next go round. Feel me? All right, do we got anybody else? Got about 10 more minutes. I noticed a lot of y'all actually said both men and women have it tough in relationships. I don't know if y'all just said that because it was me you was talking to or if y'all was really feeling that, but because I work with both, I do agree that it is both men and women who have it tough in relationships, because I think people just want things, want to accomplish things, and it's difficult. You know what I mean? And we got a lot of outside sources and people telling you what you should be accomplishing and what you should get from a relationship. I think that's one of the toughest things now, as opposed to any other time in history, is that so many people can have an opinion. You got people on Instagram, they put up a picture of their little relationship, and you got 50 people either liking it, disliking it, have something to say. People just, just in general always got something to say. And I think that makes it difficult because now we feel judged if we don't have anybody, if we don't have a relationship going on in our lives right now, if the relationship ain't what we think the outside world would want it to be, all of that. I think that's difficult. And I think that's something that's going on more now than almost ever in history. So I think that's why it's tough for both, because men have certain things they want to accomplish. Women have stuff they want to accomplish. And that's kind of where that goes. Jessica, how old are you? I'm 40. I usually don't get into too many personal questions because I try not to make it about me. I don't want people to get to where they start looking at me and my situation and base what they believe or don't believe on me. See, a lot of y'all, what y'all do is y'all find somebody. I'm not saying that about this question even, but what a lot of y'all do is y'all find somebody and y'all trying to live y'all life based on what you think theirs is. People bring up celebrities in the comment section all the time. Well, Kim Kardashian is doing this. Beyonce is doing. You don't know what they're doing in their real lives. All we can go on is what we see in a story or some specific situation. But I just turned 40 actually on the 4th. No, I don't feel like 40. Some of y'all going into this 40 thing now. Like, but yeah, but I think we look at celebrities and stuff like that. We look at people and we try to. A lot of times, I don't like to make it about the person. I like it to be about the message. That's why whenever somebody says something, I don't generally try to attack the person. I talk about the message, and that's what I always wanted my thing to be about. Even though I talk about different stuff in life and whatnot, I'm all about the message. It's one of the most important things, just to concentrate on the message and not the individual. All right, let's see. What else do we got? Happy belated birthday. I appreciate y'all. Thank you for the happy belated. All right, we got anything else? We bowed out. I got about 3 more minutes. If you just want to show love to the chat, hit me with a sticker. Make a donation to the super chat. If you like what I did here, you want to see some more of them, hit the like button. Give a sticker. Give something for a shout out. Get in the super chat for a shout out, and I'll shout you out too real quick. Also, y'all let me know what y'all want the next one to be about. Real quick, y'all. I'm gonna read in through here. Let me know what y'all want the next one to be about. Okay, how to know what a man's intention is when approaching. Okay. What else? Anybody got some other ones? That might be a good one. I'm with you. I was with you. All right. I appreciate all of y'all for coming out. Hopefully I was able to help you out. I try to kick that real game to you. No bitterness, no judgment, no hate here. Appreciate y'all for coming out. Make sure y'all like as I'm turning this off. Just keep that like going. Keep that like button going. It's your man, ChazzEllis. Make sure you go to ChazzEllis.com. Get some of my premium content. Get some shirts. Just keep on supporting. I'm going to keep on doing this thing. It's going to always be love. You know what I mean? Everything I'm telling you because it's out of love. Ain't no me trying to hurt your feelings, me trying to break you down or make you feel no type of way. It's all love. That's a good question. What's a high value man or woman exactly outside of money? Okay. All right, I'm working that. I'm gonna put some of that down for you guys. Answer some of those questions on the next one. All right, it's your man ChazzEllis. Peace.